Welcome back to the Tailosive EV Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. I am joined with one FSD beta tester,
Randy,
one Tesla owner. How are you guys?
And what am I, Drew? Nothing.
Triple
Okay,
Cybertruck reservation holder / in the market for a Model Y? What's it?
Sure.
Sure.
are we all getting Model Ys at this point? Because Drew, congrats,
No.
by the way, on starting the Tesla fund.
Thank you. It's like, congratulations on your decision to start saving money.
It takes confidence. It takes a lot of,
Congratulations.
not confidence, but at least, like, it takes some sort of, like, confidence in able to, like, put yourself out there and be like, hey, if you want to help me get this dream,
I'm broke.
okay. Sure, we can go that route.
No, there was a lot of planning. There was a lot of long talks. There was a lot of couples therapy, marriage counseling we had to go through before dropping that video. Probably the most amount of work I've ever put into one video. Not in the recording and editing, but in the deciding what to do.
That's amazing.
Well, that
Years
will only
and
be
years
topped
You're
after
like
you.
Drew secretly. I mean, we kind of brushed on this once before, but I was recapping, and since we got a little bit of a bigger audience now, I'll recap. Drew secretly created the EV handle pre-decision of getting a separate channel going. He did it strictly as an archive of cataloging his experience of getting a Model 3 at the time, and every month he would tweet, just to nobody except somebody who was stalking it. He would tweet 7 more months, 6 more months, 3 more months. He gets to like the month of leading up to his birthday, and he goes, against my better judgment, I should pay off some debt. So I've been so like some people are like, oh, as of this past week now, people are like, ooh, congratulations, Drew, saving up to. I've been waiting since 2019 for this to happen, since Model 3, now Model Y. Like some people have been waiting longer than others for this to happen. So I'm over here like, come on. So when I saw the video, I'm like, yeah, come on. He's doing it. Oh, he's just making an announcement. I'm still waiting.
He's still waiting. I'm sorry, Randy. I know. For behind the scenes, it's been on and off for a long time. There's a lot you didn't even know, for the record. But yeah, it was there was a lot of close calls where I think the closest we ever were was early 2020.
Bad time to buy it.
Late 2019, we were like planning to get a used Model 3, and we were kind of dependent on will we get it is based on how the channels perform. You know, at first we didn't like the idea of telling people we were saving up. We just wanted to one day buy one and just it shows up because we thought that would be more exciting. But
It is.
it is more exciting to be like, hey, I bought one. But there were so many people asking nonstop for years, basically, what the plan is, and I had my template answer, which I can now admit was mostly a lie, which was, we don't drive very much, and it's hard to justify the expense. That part is true, but I deep down wanted one ever since Nick and Randy brought a Model 3 to my hometown. we drove it around. Ever since then, there's been conversations pretty much daily, maybe not every day, but at least weekly for sure, between me and my wife about how should we do this? Should we get this one? Should we get this one? Should we save for it this way? Should we get a loan? Should we do such and such? There's been so much undecided pending that it was so frustrating every time during a live stream or every time during a video. People are like, so when are you getting one? Which one are you getting? And I'm just like, I don't want to let it all out of the bag before we've decided anything, so we kept it under wraps. But we've got a home charger installed in 2019. So Luckily, Mike didn't see it when he visited.
How did I miss it? Hold on.
I don't know. It's pretty obvious, but it's there, and it's been there for a long time. We got it way too prematurely. Also, I've always wanted to tell this story, but I haven't been able to. Basically, because we thought the Model 3 was coming sooner rather than later, we hired an electrician to come out, and we were like, we want to put a NEMA 1550 outlet for not fast charging, but decent charging speed of the car. And he was like, why do you want an EV? I was like, well, electric's cheaper than gas. And he was like, yeah, but your electric bill's going to go up. And I was like, I don't have time to explain how wrong you are right now. I was like, can you do it or can you not do it? And he was just like, I don't know, man. I don't think it's worth it. And I was like, okay, bye. I was just told him, all right, not interested. So we found a different electrician that did the job, and it works. We tested it and everything. So that was annoying, but it took 2 years to tell the story. But there it is.
You've told part of this story before. I remember you talking about some electrician was giving you a hard time. You're like, go away. Like, yeah. And you just left it at that. So you got a fast charger installed. You got something put in.
It'll do 30 miles an hour. It's not a wall charger, but it's we even have the Tesla adapter already. The 1550 NEMA plug to plug directly into. So that was prepared. The one thing I don't think I've told anyone yet, so I guess I'll drop it now while we're talking about the past.
Exclusive.
I ordered a Model Y in early 2020.
Wow.
And we didn't go through with it, but we ordered the rear-wheel drive long range. And we filmed it and everything. We documented the whole ordering process.
It must have been early January then. Because I think they changed it like late January or early February.
It was January 3rd. We were visiting family out of state when we were like, okay, depending on how much money the channels make, we'll decide if we go with a 3 or with long range or a standard range or used. We were kind of comparing prices. And then the channels actually, thanks to the Cybertruck, ended up doing really, really well. And that Cybertruck video taking off inspired me to say, okay, I'm going to start making EV videos now because I've realized that you can't, that this field is getting really interesting and it's changing rapidly. So I'm feeling confident enough that it can be its own thing. I don't have to just do EV as a side hustle on the tech channel. So I started the EV channel thinking that a Tesla was coming in the next couple months. And then we realized, because of how well the EV channel was doing already, and because of how well the Cybertruck videos were doing, we were like, oh my god, we can pay off our house much, much faster than we originally were going to have to wait until 2023, 2024 to pay off the house. And then COVID was picking up, and originally the thought process was we'll pay off the house and then we'll get the Model Y end of 2020. But then, of course, my wife got put on hold. Basically, her employer was telling her that you should file for unemployment because we're not sure if you can come back. And I was dealing with copyright strikes, so we both felt like we might be out of a job in the near future. Which is why, if we had our hindsight in place, we probably wouldn't have paid it off as soon as we did. But we didn't know what was going to happen. We didn't know if she was going to lose her job and if I was going to lose my channels. So we were like, let's just extinguish all debt as soon as possible. If I would have known that they would have brought her back after a couple months and my channels would have recovered and been fine and done the way they did, yeah, we probably would have waited and put that money towards investments and building up our, passive income, putting it towards other things. So basically, everything was up against the Tesla purchase. It kept getting pushed back further and further and further. But we did cancel the order to help pay for the house. We wanted the back then you could get a refund on your Tesla order, not anymore unless you get a Cybertruck. But so we're wondering to ourselves, full circle, what would have happened if we didn't cancel that order, because now we're seeing people get their estimated delivery for the rear wheel drive long range. We're like, we should have held on. Oh
man, that is a crazy story.
It's a long story, but it's been
That's
going
interesting.
back and forth. So
You have fun being secretive with your friends, I see. The plot twist is I've always known you had the thing installed. I saw it.
He was there. It was
I
me,
was
Barry.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
I left
number
to quickly
one.
show that I still have my wall connector in the box.
Yes.
I still haven't had it installed, and it's been maybe a year that I've had it. It's
Yeah,
only
why
beca-
don't you install it?
I've been unsure about whether we want to stay here or not. So
Oh, right.
It's
You're
all-
gonna
Don't do
move
it,
to
Mike. Don't do it. Don't install it.
Virginia.
yeah, I'm figuring I can
No.
keep it. It's pretty funny because
Not Virginia.
it's a different model than what's on the website now.
Yeah, they've changed it.
So
since.
I don't remember what color this is. I don't remember if it's like black or white, or like
I
what
think it's white.
or what cable length it is. I can't really find too many definable things on this
That
box.
charger
besides-
is going to look a lot better in Texas.
maybe.
If you were going
Concur.
to Texas.
Nick's like,
or
I know it.
in Brownsville. It looks better in Brownsville.
Oh, there we go. I'll just me and my wife can go live with Nick. Then you can always.
I was alluding
No
to Elon,
comments.
but I'm sure Nick
No
is great.
I was going to say, I don't think Nick spends much time in his apartment anyway.
Yeah, you're better off hanging out with Elon.
Yeah, I'll just.
Elon's got a nice house. It sounded like, based on your last text, Nick, that you're going to live out of your Model Y pretty much as soon as you can get one.
I mean, I have a beautiful home here. I see what you mean. Yeah. I remember that picture now. Okay. Yes. There was a gorgeous picture of someone
just the panoramic glass roof.
Yeah,
And
the
you were like,
panoramic
I could
glass
just live
roof
in there.
in the bed in the back of the Model Y. I was like, ooh, I could do this.
It's pretty.
That'd be very pretty.
Yeah, what's the status on you, Nick? Since we've already gotten the status on
Drew.
Drew.
Yeah, we've gotten status on Drew. We'll get some status on me. I am no longer feeling the urgency, I guess. I did feel it for a solid 2 weeks there. I really love the Cybertruck.
He's not budging.
And I every time, I mean, I see tons of Model 3s and Model Ys and Model S's and Model X's. And someone brought a scale model Cybertruck to Starbase the other day. It didn't drive or anything, but it was the correct size. And I walked around it and I looked at it and I was like, I love this. I love this a lot. And I don't think I don't want, unless
So you're
my car
holding them.
bursts into flames, I guess it'll be between a Model 3 off the used one or Drew's hoping my car bursts into flames. Thank you, Drew. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
It is an internal
No, I just
combustion
mean
engine.
the you don't have to choose one or the other is all I'm saying. That's
What?
all. You don't have to choose between the Cybertruck and getting a Model 3 now.
I feel like I do, because if I got a Model 3 now, it would. There's no reason to spend an enormous amount of money on something I'm not going to keep until it stops working. And I feel like getting a Model 3 fits into the Dave Ramsey style of car purchasing, where it's like, I probably shouldn't, and just go find another beater and drive it. Because I drive like 80 miles a day between
Oof.
my commute to Starbase and back, and then
That's
driving
a
around
lot.
Starbase. It is a lot. And I just had to get an oil
That's a lot of
change
gas.
the other day, and I was like, I just did this 6 weeks ago. What's going on? And I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I drive a lot. And so, it would make a lot of sense in a Cybertruck in a vehicle that I intended to keep for a decade or more, to put those kinds of miles on it and put that kind of wear and tear on it. But if it's, a Model 3 that I'm intending on hoping to sell in a couple of years, unfortunately, people still grade used vehicles on the mileage, which is not really accurate with Teslas. Who cares? You need to replace some brake rotors at some point, maybe sooner. It's not something that I'm super jazzed about anymore, because that Cybertruck is just so beautiful. I can't stop thinking about that Cybertruck, guys. I really want the Cybertruck. What's up?
All
Randy?
right, let me add a little juxtaposition to all of this.
Ooh,
We're
that's a
thinking
big
about
word.
not going through with the Cybertruck now.
Why?
That's pretty funny because so are we.
What?
I knew
Oh
it.
my god!
I knew it. I knew
What's
it. I
happening?
knew it. One day, ladies and gentlemen, you'll understand that Mike and I basically have the same wife.
All right, explain, Randy.
Brittany is Carrie. Carrie is Brittany. Mike is Randy. Randy is Mike. We're one and the same. So
This is just gonna be the status of everyone's next EV episode. Everyone's just gonna talk about what Tesla we're buying.
So, do you guys want me to give you the real answer or a quick answer?
Real.
Yes.
I
Okay.
say real answer.
Yeah, give us real.
Okay. The real answer is and by we I mean Brittany. She basically acknowledges, I've talked with her about it's a very high chance it's not that price anymore. And we have to accept that. She goes, yes, that's fair. And she pauses and she goes, well, here's the thing. If it's going to be more and it's going to get delayed still, at this point, it's losing more and more of its appeal to me about why I wanted to get this thing in the first place from the offset. Even if
Call
they start
Brittany.
shipping... No,
Excuse
no.
me. I need to go make an intervention call real quick.
Yeah, never mind the fact she's at work right now. We're just going to interrupt it.
Who needs work?
This is
We got to talk
important.
about the Cybertruck.
So this is important. It's about the Cybertruck. It being pushed out the way it is, the price going up most likely.
Highly, yeah. I'd be very shocked if the price didn't go
If
up.
it doesn't, then I think most of this will be null and void. What I'm saying, but
Okay.
It's happened
we
before.
basically we've established that the EV market as a whole is becoming a little bit more vibrant slowly. This does not mean we're leaning towards Rivian. The real answer would be it would just be better to reallocate the funds towards another investment property of sorts or something to that caliber, and we would be better off just focusing on other things. In context to, I mean, you guys know, but audience, we're a military family currently, and staying in the United States is not a guarantee, and we are actively looking. We've been trying to find ways to go overseas anyway, so if we go overseas, it just makes it that much more null and void about getting something made in the U.S. and shipped out. It's just not going to work. So it's really contingent on where we're at next year to the next 2 years, and it also is contingent on what the final price is going to be and where we want to better use of funds at this point. It's Cybertruck is at the time. Now we're coming into 2 years ago. Felt like a steal for its price, its features, its timeline. This is a steal, even for a single motor. We all
It is
we're all
steel.
like, this is
Randy.
amazing.
It's stainless steel. 304L
Ah,
stainless steel.
That's what I thought he was saying at first, and then I was like,
Shame.
oh.
Terrible
stupid
jokes.
brain.
But if the price is now changing, the deliveries are not even set now, and competition is healthy, and now we just want to eyeball the competition. In our own personal lives, we have changed since November of 2019. So
I can't believe it's coming up on 2 years.
it's hard to believe, but that's where we're
crazy.
at, and we've all changed a lot within those 2 years. Drew paid off everything. I uprooted everything. Nick uprooted everything. Mike is. Well,
I'm
since
here.
Mike is
Here.
since Mike is me,
exists.
Mike
is
has
here.
uprooted. Mike is just a clone, but
Mike didn't have a Tesla 2 years ago.
he didn't.
I didn't know I was going to get my Tesla 2 years ago in 4 months. What was it?
He
There you
he
go.
was just Mike.
He was just
no one
Mike.
called him Model Y.
No,
Mike.
no Model Y. It was just Mike. So yeah,
I watched the
that's
Cybertruck
it.
get unveiled right there.
That we basically it just time has changed, and because of something, and this is a risky run for being so early at trying to pre-order and reserve something. Lives have changed in the last 2 years, and
Yep.
it's not a hard no. It's just what it's looking at and what it's leading towards. It's no longer a priority for us. We would rather better use that money somewhere else.
So, does that mean you're curious about what other electric truck options will be available after investment property, or Are you just thinking with this new lifestyle we've chosen that you couldn't have predicted back in 2019, this new lifestyle doesn't require a pickup of any kind?
No, we'll still be curious. I'm still curious. If not her, me, but I think we both are, and it's more of the lifestyle of kind of moving around. The beauty about EVs is like in staying within Tesla, the network is everywhere. So whether it's my 3 or we have a Cybertruck or we get a Y or whatever the case may be, we still have the same accessibility options. So getting around isn't an issue. So the lifestyle change isn't really much going to affect. The only way it's the other way around for you, what you just asked, is if we're overseas, then the lifestyle doesn't a lot for it.
Yeah.
That's the only time would be different. And if we do go overseas, and that is her priority, I'd say it's our priority to make that happen and travel the world. The Cybertruck will be there when we come back to the United States.
No, I've heard that the Cybertruck famously fits very well on European streets. That's what I've heard.
Yeah. On both lanes, it fits perfectly well.
Perfectly well.
It turns two-way streets into one-way streets. It's incredible.
Man.
But
No, I can respect
How
that,
about
Randy.
you, Mike?
But also, the Cybertruck's amazing.
it is amazing. I just think
It
it's
is
too
amazing.
big.
There's no doubting
It is
that
amazing.
vehicle is fantastic. Some would say spectacular. These are all words you can describe Spider-Man as well. But yeah, no, kind of on the same front as Randy. It's being delayed, which I guess is good for funds. We appreciate that. But there's more competition coming, just like what Randy said. Like Ford F-150 Lightning, yeah, it kind of seems like you're going against the other side. Like, haha, root for the legacy auto, but it's not a bad product. But that doesn't mean that we're looking at it as we're going to buy it. It's more of, if Ford can do it, then Chevy and Dodge can do it, or Ram can do it. If they can do it...
Or GM, because GM is going to beat Tesla in the next few years.
As they claim, yeah, but if they
The
can...
Hummer will beat the Cybertruck to market, probably.
Yeah, not in price necessarily, but...
If the
I
Volkswagen
don't know about
bus
that.
beats Cybertruck to market, Brittany said, all caution to the wind, she's going to get the Volkswagen
I might
bus.
have to make a caveat on that. Ooh,
Don't
true.
have to worry about that happening.
It could come.
I'm just saying if. She goes, if this comes out first, F everything else. I don't care about the network. Strictly out of pure greed of my love for the design, I'm going to get the Volkswagen bus.
Assuming it looks like what it did originally, but it's looking like it's
Right.
undergone some changes in the last few years.
Yeah.
But
What we saw
yeah,
at the museum was not the same as like what they're working at now.
and the
so.
same with the Cybertruck. It's not the same.
Same with the
necessarily.
Cybertruck. Yeah.
It's not as radical as what we see like with what happens with Mercedes and other vehicles.
Yeah, the
but
EQS.
yeah, the
Looks
EQS
like-
is famous for being what the heck
Honda
happened to
Civic.
it. It went from was it the Avatar car prototype to a Honda Civic.
Right.
I digress. Yeah, so we're on the same page in regards to like it's gonna cost more. How much is this gonna cost? Like even though it's being delayed, is it probably just gonna come out even, or are we still gonna be a little bit in the hole in regards to not having enough funds at the time? Along with that, we have a perfectly functioning truck right now. We've got the Ram 1500. It gets fantastic gas mileage. Why would we get rid of a perfectly fine vehicle that already does everything that we want and need out of a truck for something because gas, but there's been many channels that have done this that have calculated like, is it better to buy an old used car, keep your car, or buy an electric car soon? And usually it turns out to keep, or I guess in my case, I may be in the bad category of keeping your new kind of newish car or whatever. Maybe buy a used car, but almost disregarding that, we don't have any need for the Cybertruck right now. We don't have any need for the Cybertruck in a year necessarily, unless the Ram gets destroyed. Then it's more of, okay, I guess we go for it. Kind of like what Randy said with the 3. If the 3 gets destroyed, you go for the Y. If the Ram 1500 gets destroyed, we go for the Cybertruck or whatever is on the market that looks appealing. With that said, the market is getting bigger. We're seeing Rivian slowly churning out vehicles. I think one per day.
Very slowly, yeah.
One per day Rivians, which is a bummer, but at least they're producing
60
them.
cars delivered this year.
It's better than none, I'd
It's
say.
still something.
Yeah.
Still
it's
better than
better.
the Cybertruck, Elon.
It's yeah.
Wow, Nick just
I'm
said
not-
those words. Better
I'm
than the
not
Cybertruck.
convinced Cybertruck will deliver next year at this point.
No.
Yeah.
So we're kind of in the same ballpark.
Hey, buddy, it's okay.
We're in the same ballpark of, do we really need this right now? No. Do we need it in a year? Likely not. But it is still really cool, still really interesting, and we're excited to see it happen. But it's not necessarily a thing that we want or need at the moment. Or want, maybe yes, but need, maybe not. Still.
Hey, Mike, did you guys? I don't remember. Did you lock in with your FSD or no FSD?
So that's what I was getting to, is kind of like Nick, my wife has one reservation, and I've got two. And so we've got one tri-motor without FSD, one tri-motor with FSD, and one dual motor with FSD. So we got two FSDs and one non-FSD. So my thought is, because also I guess another factor is she doesn't like the yoke, and she doesn't think she's going to like the yoke. And I've told her, well, look at Marquez. He kind of turned around on the yoke, so it could happen to us. And she's like, I mean, if I don't like it the first test drive, I don't think I'm going to go for it. I'm like, well, you kind of have to give it more than one test drive. So maybe this is a good idea in terms of we keep the reservation. If we have the funds at the time, we get it once we get our delivery. And we already know, like with what's happening with the 3Y right now, it's impossible to get one without paying a substantial amount of money. If we could get a new Cybertruck for its price that Tesla is selling for, and you don't have to pay more due to it being used, or just, I guess, scalpers in a way, what we can do is take the delivery if we have the money,
Right.
try it out for 100 miles or however long my wife wants to try it out. If she still doesn't like the yoke or how it handles or how it feels or how whatever it is, we can sell it.
You'll probably make a profit.
And we'll probably make a profit. So the idea is we'll keep the reservation or reservations, and then we'll figure out when the time comes, do we take delivery or not? And then if we do take delivery, do we keep it or not? So it's now kind of become more of, instead of we're keeping this for life, it's more of uncertainty. It's all become uncertainty, I guess, on our end.
Yeah.
So
I think getting FSD on it would be a good reason to take delivery, even if you don't plan on keeping it, just because,
especially at
you
7,000.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's probably going to be more in another year. So
I asked about that because of that very reason, that on the flip side of that same notion where we're heading at with FSD, if the price of the vehicle goes up so substantially that it offsets the cost of FSD, it's not worth it for us to want to hold on to it, even though it's locked in at 7,000. What's 7,000 if it went up 15,000 more than that? At that point, it's like it's Tesla doing that thing where FSD still maintains its value at its current rate of what it's selling for, and we're not trying to manipulate the numbers in a way where it's like, well, technically you're getting it then for 10,000 or 15 or whatever it's going to be next year. FSD, keeping it locked in, good on paper, but if the principal price of the vehicle goes up, it kind of, for us, it's null and void. It doesn't matter. Maybe at best we'll take delivery, get some videos out of it, but it's nothing of like.
yeah, it's like that. It'll pay for itself. Even if you don't keep it, just take delivery, make some videos, and then I'm sure they're going to be in low supply, in high demand. So there will be tons of people willing to pay more than what you paid just to have yours.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't have to wait.
Like me.
And as cool as that is, has turned moving money around pretty quickly. It's just not cool in the sense of like, what do we want for our household to be lasting? If we treat it as a business expense, then yeah, screw it, whatever. I'll take all variances of the Cybertruck and do a compare or whatever. That's fine. But treating it as like an operating vehicle that you would have as your primary for everything and anything, I don't know.
I bought all the Cybertrucks.
There you go. I'm still rooting though, as it feels like this little conversation kind of turned into a downer. I am optimistic and I am rooting for Cybertruck still, and I just want to see more than some showroom videos. You know, I want more. I just want more. I feel not that we're owed anything, but come on, like we're hitting 2 years now, and you got nothing to report, nothing to share.
We still don't even know what the final design looks like, or what the interior looks like now, or what the side view mirror is yet. We have to shoot it at 200 yards away or whatever.
Right. Yeah, it's all very vague. I think Tesla, I've spoken on this before, but my theory is that they thought the design was going to catch people off guard. It was going to make everyone think it's too ugly and it was going to be too unlovable. So they set the prices really, really low, anticipating that this would not be a high demand vehicle. And then the orders took off, the internet ran with it, and now everybody loves it. And everyone started reporting on, man, you know, I don't need a Model 3, I don't need a Model Y because the Cybertruck is just so good and the value is so good. And Tesla quickly realized, oh crap, this isn't what we intended. We were hoping this would be a little side thing we could start off with, because, you know, Elon's on the record said several times, the Cybertruck may flop, but I don't really care, it's my passion project. And he said, like, you know, we don't expect it to be, you know, the highest volume vehicle in our lineup, but I think it quickly started looking that way once everyone saw the prices and the durability, and they were like, who cares what it looks like? You know, I'll love the design if it's practical. It's a Cybertruck. You know what it is? It doesn't need branding, doesn't have any logos on it. And the orders went way, way higher, like astronomically higher than they were anticipating. And if anything, they probably resulted in a lot of Nick's situation where he was like, I don't want a current Tesla that they're mass producing now. I want a future Tesla that's not being built yet.
If only there was like an effect that had this name that could describe this.
Is it the Doc Connors effect?
Is it the Tailosive effect?
There's no such word. It doesn't exist.
Darn.
If only. English has so
maybe Norman Osborn from Spider-Man could come up with it.
I think it's Doc Connors. Doc Connors, because
effect?
he's obviously the first mad scientist to inject himself with chemicals.
And now I think effectively Tesla is trying to unconvince as many people as possible to get the Cybertruck, because it's not really practical to have a fairly low production rate with millions of people on the order list. Like producing cars and then saying, okay, if you order one today, you'll get it in 5 years. Like there's not much logic in that, because you got to optimize your factory to produce a number of vehicles that can match demand pretty equally. Otherwise, you just got to raise your prices way too high, and then if the prices are too high, no one wants to buy it. So it's too battery hungry, and I think Tesla knows that. They know how many 4680s are going to be required for the truck, and I still can't fathom how right now he's saying 4680s have to ramp, and the first deliveries won't be until the beginning of 2022. So they got to ramp up 4680s for the Model Y until the very end of 2022, and that's when they're hoping to be like more fully ramped. And then simultaneously also fully ramped 4680s for the Cybertruck, which is going to require way more batteries, and be ramping that with the launch in 2023. Like, I don't know.
They're going to need another factory.
They might. I really have a hard time visualizing how they can ramp Cybertruck without like drastically changing the specs so that less people want it. It would make more sense if they turned it into all Cybertrucks are $80,000 and they all have high range and high acceleration, and you can either buy that one or buy a Model Y, buy a Model 3 if you want something cheaper. And okay, it might take them 2-3 years before they start making cheaper versions of the Cybertruck, but as long as you can sell every single one of them, which I think they will, even at $80,000, I bet everyone would still, not everyone, but a substantial number of people, probably at least 200,000, 300,000 a year, which is like maximum what they could probably make. why bother with the $50,000 option? Why bother with the $60,000? There's just no there's no financial incentive to.
One Cybertruck fits all.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's what I'm anticipating will happen. I would be far more interested if it were smaller, for the record. But
I'm very sorry, Drew. We will have to disagree on that till the bitter end. I'd like it 5% larger, actually.
No, tech is next
So would my wife.
after this. You could disagree.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is
Nick,
EV. Actually, I'm
you
sorry.
don't have to
Drew.
be that character
I
yet.
forgot.
Yeah,
I forgot
we
this is
don't have
EV.
to be that character yet. Tech is next.
gotta,
One of the most
On this-
successful episodes is Please Cancel Nick, and that one got really popular.
we're gonna cancel Nick on every episode now.
I think,
on every
I think,
episode.
I think that just means I'm a professional who knows how to clickbait the audience.
Well, now you just revealed yourself.
No, which I find is
Well,
very
what-
entertaining
what
because
was-
everyone in the comments was saying, "Oh, but you're not a professional, Nick. You need the consumer device. You're not a pro." I'm like,
What does this guy know
and who
about
clicked
podcasts?
on this video?
I don't think Nick knows anything about podcasts.
I think it should be mentioned that Nick wrote, Nick hates it, please cancel him. And he made that thumbnail.
I
That
made
was
the
not
thumbnail.
Me or Ray.
I even put it on the group chat. I was like, "Is this too much?" And no one responded, so I went ahead and posted it.
No one responded.
I wanted to see it through.
Well, it's funny that, you know what makes me laugh tying this back to EV is Randy's like, our funds are better spent on other things and we don't really need a truck. And yet Tesla stock right now, Randy could buy 8 Cybertrucks, I'm pretty confident. And yet he's like, yeah, I don't know if it's worth it. It's might be a bit more expensive.
It's more
Meanwhile,
That's-
Hertz is like pumping up the stock like with an adaptive air compressor in the bed.
If this
My
conversation would be going differently if Cybertruck was released today, we'd have a different conversation happening. I'd buy my
So
own
it's
fleet.
mostly timeline, you think? Mostly it has to
No.
do with the timeline.
It's hard to tell the specifics without Brittany being here. Part timeline, part lifestyle. It won't make sense if we're overseas. That's the priority. Because if that's where duty calls and sends us, then it would be hard. I'd have to figure out a way to come back to the States just to take delivery, film some stuff, turn around and sell it. It's gonna be hard, and
Yep.
I think that's the real thing is where are we gonna be by the time this thing ships?
On Mars.
Mars.
No, I swear if Mars gets it before us, I'm gonna throw a BF. So
I will be there. I will
Love
do
it.
the review videos. Okay, I will be on Mars when the Cybertruck is out on Mars. Promise.
That was a great callback, Randy.
Yeah.
Just gonna have a
I-
BF.
yeah,
I'm not in this marriage where apparently you guys have the same wife. My wife hates the Cybertruck.
Well, maybe we just need to get all the wives, including yours, Nick. And
Oh yes, honey, would you come over here?
wow, you've got
Like
your,
to everyone to
I'm just
meet my
convinced the
wife.
show would be like 5 minutes and they would be done.
because they're so efficient with their time.
Yeah. They don't dive into the details. They're just like, yeah, I like the truck, but I don't like the yoke.
what do we talk about now?
Anyway.
Do you guys want to
They
go
just
get
move
some
on.
roll tacos?
I would do that. Talk about something else. But no, there were several conversations where I was like, man, maybe we could just leave the Cybertruck outside. It doesn't have to go in the garage. And she was like, I don't want a truck. And I was like, well, have you seen the Rivian? Like, that doesn't look as crazy. It looks more like the Tacoma. Me and her drove all the way to my parents' new place out of state. And she was like, I don't want a truck. I don't like trucks.
She didn't like the Ram apparently. Then when we drove in to visit,
I love you, Mike, but I don't like your truck. And it has nothing to do with you. I'm sure the truck is perfect and it suits your lifestyle well, and I'm glad it works well for you. But it's too big. I don't like trucks like
When
that.
Drew
Saying bad
starts a
things about
sentence
my
with
truck.
"I'm happy for you," I know it's not going to be a good. What they're about to follow. Hey, I'm
It's
happy
kind of the
for
same
you.
thing with Randy and his color choices. It's like
How dare you?
No, I'm not like Nick.
Cancel
I can
Drew.
respect-
That's it.
that I can respect that an option or a color fits well for an individual person. Like for Nick in his size, knowing he's 7 miles
I've lost
tall.
a ton of weight, Drew. How dare you bring up my size, okay? The fact
Nick
that
is
you...
so tall, I understand why he wants a big car. Like, he wants a bigger version of the Cybertruck, probably with 6 wheels. He would be like, okay,
Yes.
sounds good. He will take that.
The dually
But
version
Randy-
of the Cybertruck.
But Randy,
Randy loves the 3, and he loves olive green, matte army green stuff. And I respect that green fits him. That's his style. That's his character. And I'm like, good for you. And that's why when the Rivian Forest Green was out, or the Green 11 Pro or Series 7, whenever I see it, I go, that's Randy's. And I don't critique it, but I just know that that's not for me. That color's not my color.
my
That's
friends know me
Randy's color.
so well.
You make it easy,
So-
Randy. I love your shirt.
Every time
In
I
that
see
same
promotion,
way-
I'm like, there's Drew's. That's Drew's. It doesn't matter.
I'm the 120 hertz guy.
Yeah.
In the same way, my wife is like, I don't like trucks. I don't want a truck. And I'm like, is it... What about them? Because to me, it's like we can still drive it around. It's got a big bed, and she's like, it's not a logical thing. It's not like from a practical standpoint. It's just the look and the vibe
aesthetic.
of a truck. I'm not a truck person, and I never have been. So, what's the most practical non-truck best range EV out there? I would say Model Y.
A truck person.
I was going to say
with-
2020 Roadster, but it's 2021, so...
Very practical.
I think
So
it's turned to
Luis is not a
2023.
fan of sleeveless denim and having flannel and the hat and that thing where people spit in their and all that. That's a chant
chew,
for.
Randy.
I don't know. When I visited Mike once, I didn't bring a jacket, and he lent me his flannel when we went on a walk, and she really liked that.
Ooh.
I don't think it
Maybe
crosses
she's a
over
truck
into truck
person. She
culture.
doesn't know it, Drew. Maybe that's...
Yeah.
She's-
If we can get her on the flannel in
she's a
sleeveless
Drew person.
denim,
She's a Drew person.
She's basically like, I like it
She's
when you
a
wear
Drew
soft clothes, because then when I hug you, it's soft.
oh,
Truck doesn't have that advantage.
oh,
unfortunately.
yeah. No, you're SOL,
But-
man.
Every time, Louise has been in the Model Y more than any other Tesla. Mike's Model Y, specifically. And
Who's?
no, she loves that thing. She's got no issues with that. It's like, this is perfect.
It must
Not too
be.
big.
It must be the stigma that comes with trucks. For me, I don't do good in trucks because I'm short, and short people in trucks, it looks like I'm trying to compensate for something, and
And you're not.
And believe me, folks, we have no problems. Okay, folks, believe me. Believe me.
I will admit it would have been. Well, it will be. I'm sure you will eventually write in one. But
Yeah.
you and your wife in a Cybertruck will be an interesting.
I already see the. It's the reverse of a clown car, big old thing, and little people, and just come out.
Yeah.
Hello, hey, where's the rest of the people? No, it's just us two.
I have no issues really with the Model 3 though. That's like a close runner-up for me at least.
It's timeless. That it's
It
going to
is.
be the
I
best.
just wish it was
aging.
getting new batteries or something soon.
Man, I wish we were getting the new everything. I'm a little cranky. I'm a
Me
little
too,
cranky with
Randy.
that.
We need to vote for this, okay? Start electing politicians who will get us new everything.
New everything.
They got us a
New
$12,000 EV incentive
Yeah,
There's that.
I saw
Oh,
that.
did you see that? Well, 12,000 for all the EVs no one wants.
for one that is built in the United States and has a unionized workforce as well. Yeah,
So Tesla's is 8,000.
I think so.
I don't know.
No,
You
not
guys
worth
agree,
it.
but I honestly think a tax credit is like the last thing the EV market needs right now.
What we need is. No, I'm trying not to go meta about this.
Speaking of meta, did you?
No, no, I'm gonna stop
Save it
you
for
there.
tech.
I'm
Save
a,
it for tech.
Yes.
I'm a,
I don't want to talk about.
I'm gonna
this
talk
on
about the
any
FSD bit
podcast.
if you're gonna bring up meta.
Oh yeah! Oh my God, we haven't even talked about this. How's the beta, Mike?
It's terrible. I hate it. We're getting rid of it. Goodbye.
You're a beta male now.
Ooh. Drew's been waiting months to drop that joke, ladies and gentlemen. He
I
texts
wish
me
I
every
could
morning.
say I have, but
All right, that's the show.
I literally came up with that a few seconds ago. It was like Mike is a male who has FSD beta, so
Yes.
how's it working? Do you use it a lot? Does your wife hate it?
So she got to experience it for the first time last night. I think it was a pretty good experience for her in regards to we were going late grocery shopping, and I didn't activate it until we got off of one of the many highways in the Bay,
Yes.
and we were going to a Safeway. And once we got off the off ramp and we're on the city streets, I activated it because FSD beta is still a little bit iffy sometimes with some of the off ramps. It is iffy a lot of places as well, but it handled the city driving last night pretty well in regards to getting up to an intersection. It did have trouble. The car always wants to center itself in the middle of the lane, which isn't good for when like there's kind of like the side lane meant for bicycles and or it's just like some weird sized shape street because maybe there's another street that connects with it, so it's giving a little bit more room for those cars to come in. Either way, it tried to center itself, and then of course the road kind of curves in and then curves back out for a turn lane, and so then the car it's like, all right, we're gonna go right, never mind, we're going to go left, and then we're gonna go right. Kind of jostles you around, but it got to the stoplight pretty fine, slowly creeped ahead to make sure everything looked good where it was turning, and then turned, and then drove almost into the Safeway parking lot perfectly. On the way out, though, we're exiting the parking lot. I activated it, and it was like, I'm going to drive like a bat out of hell onto the road as fast as possible, in which that kind of scared her a little bit. It was I think a great way to describe the beta is it's confidently uncertain. It's very much like, I'm going to be here, but I'm not too sure why I'm here, but I'm going to be here.
What a great description.
It's an enigma sometimes. It does some great things. Maybe Nick can put in the podcast, but I did send you guys a view of it tackling a car on the opposite side of the road getting mail, and the vehicle, my vehicle, which was in FSD, went around it flawlessly. It didn't have any issues, like the wheel wasn't jittering around everywhere. It wasn't plowing into the other vehicle. Sometimes it seems like it's going to, in which I'm very attentive. But otherwise, it handles situations surprisingly well. A lot of them that I think it wouldn't. Getting onto on-ramps, it's done flawlessly. In the Bay, that's sometimes tough because some of them are really short and quick, but gets onto them pretty successfully. Other times it could just be a straight road, and it's maybe just a little bit wide, and the car decides, well, I know I'm going straight, but the road got wider or I'm not too sure what's going on, so I'm going to swerve to the right to where there's literally enough room for another car to confidently just move forward and like not hit you.
It wants to cut people off.
Well, yeah, and then immediately comes back into the lane.
So it is a Californian driver. This is confirmed. Okay.
It is. It's very much developed and...
How dare you?
Designed by Tesla in California.
Yeah. I find that I have to disengage it forcefully maybe 3 or 4 times per trip that I usually take to work. There is a lot of challenges on maybe not challenges, but at least for the computer, there's a lot of challenges, quick off ramps and weird intersections and all that. There's a train track that I sometimes go through, and it sometimes doesn't know what to do if there's a train there.
Oh my!
So but other times I think I disengage it. Just
a crossbar going down. What should we do? Option
accelerate.
A.
You accelerate.
Floor it.
That's what happens.
Okay, floor it. No, don't floor it. Floor it.
Floor it.
Okay, floor it.
And then so usually around 3 or 4 times I have to disengage it because it's a safety issue. 1 or maybe 2 to 3 times I disengage it because it's going in the wrong lane and I know it's going to do something wrong, or it's just going to make things inconvenient. Like, I know it's supposed to be in this rightmost left turn lane, and instead it goes in the most left turn lane, and then once it's past the intersection, then it has to quickly go into the right lane, and it's a bummer. But long story short, I'm pleasantly surprised. And good. I'm in
exceeded expectations then?
Exceeded expectations. I never really bought into the hype of it when people were reviewing it and doing all that. It definitely has its quirks, but I'm pleasantly impressed with the system. Good. And every time I drive it, I tell myself I like to tell myself, at least, I'm part of this movement making the computer better. It's almost like someone planting a tree and you don't get to see the tree in all its glory. That's your
that's so sad.
Your kids who get to see the fruits of your labor. But
man, screw those kids. I want to see it.
I mean, it's going quick enough to where we probably will.
All right.
So you think beta will get yeah, you answered that. Never mind.
Do you think the beta will ever stop killing people?
No.
Have you been flagged yet for anything? Did you get in trouble?
I have. Thank you for asking.
Ooh, so, I want to hear.
Long story short, we had to take in a dog one night because I found a lost dog that followed me while I was on the beta coming home. It was pretty interesting. Anyways,
yeah.
My wife told me to call her when the owner, because the dog had a collar with a little phone number on it. Anyways, the owner called when I was in the car driving to work. I tried calling my wife. She didn't answer, so then I was going to do like a Google intercom on our speaker network in our house, which meant I was looking at my phone while we were driving on the highway. Thankfully, I wasn't around many people. I was going slow, so I felt confident that I was able to pay most attention to the road, but also try to find the intercom while casually glancing at times. And I got a nice little warning signal saying, pay attention. Or please pay attention. I don't know whether
Elon's voice over the speaker.
There's no voice. There was no, I think there was a little notification noise going bong, like, please pay attention. I don't know if that is a strike against me. I definitely should have been on my phone while driving beta stuff or dealing with a experimental program while driving, which is very dangerous.
Well, thanks for being honest about it.
But I'm going to be honest with it because
most people wouldn't have said that.
No, but it was actually reassuring because the car wasn't like one strike, you're done or whatever. It was kind of like, hey, please pay attention.
Rag, you're done. Get out of here. Rag.
It wasn't
big X on the screen.
Yeah, it wasn't like that. Thankfully, it was more of just like, hey, remember,
America's got beta instead of telling red X, red X.
Dang it, Ricky Gervais or
what? It's your friend. You know him. He's the one. What? He's your friend. I don't care anymore. You're off the beta.
Or maybe that's Simon Cowell.
I definitely think more people should grasp the term beta and what it's for. Like, this beta program is
it means submissive.
To make it better. It's to the purpose of a beta these days in terms of software development is literally to find mistakes. You're looking for where it fails intentionally, and you know it will fail because you don't know how to make it better. If you
all
don't know
betas fail you at some point. That's why you need to stick with alphas.
Anyways, I will say, ever since that warning message, I've definitely taken up an oath of never touching my phone ever ever in the car at this point. Scared me enough to realize, hold on, I'm responsible for this car, and I'm responsible for my safety. I'm also responsible for the software. So it's time to mature a little bit more and get off the phone, even if it's trying to.
Maturity is so attractive on you, Mike.
Am I graduating to an alpha yet?
I'll let you know
after Halloween, and you post pictures of your Halloween costume.
FSD alpha tester.
Alpha motor tester. I'll test that. That fake truck. yeah, and otherwise, it's been a fantastic experience. Randy, I think you'll enjoy it whenever you get it. In the Bay Area, it is tough because there's a lot of weird intersections and things. I don't know what it's like in Virginia. But
there's a lot of construction right now on the roads, and it is wrecking me. It is not having a good time. However, I found a... dare I say this on... yeah, whatever, screw it. It's not a hack, but I found a hack.
Leave 10 miles between you and the...
No, unsafe following has been my Achilles heel, and it has kept me at like 31% for the last 2 weeks.
That's high.
I have got in my car, drove an hour north and an hour back home. Wanted to go to the Apple store, but I did this on purpose just so I can offset the average, which I am now down to 26%.
Nice.
So I'm going to get back in my car every single day and just drive to an Apple store and back to offset this darn... because everything else, locked in, perfect green, hard brake, 0.2%. Force autopilot, 0 total. Aggressive turning, 0.7. Forward collision warning, 2.5 average. My safety score is still at 96 because of unsafe following. I'm going to go for the longest drive one way until my battery's about to die, stop at a charging station, juice it back up, and just come home. And that's going to be my day after we're done recording today, because I'm doing this every single day until I get this sucker bumped up, because I am tired of sitting at this stupid... I'm a good driver, darn it.
I have had it with this much.
I can't control people cutting me off and then hitting, and I'm getting dinged for unsafe following because I'm driving like a grandma.
That's one thing I don't miss about the safety score. Now that I don't have it on my app screen for my Tesla.
So you can't check your score at all now.
No, all I have left is pictures of that terrible period in my life where I was coached by software to drive.
Well, that's interesting.
I
love
love
plan on using this score for insurance eventually.
It is. What's also interesting is one other thing that I forgot to mention with the beta is you can set a follow distance, right? I've set it to like 5 or 6. It ignores it.
Nice. That's funny.
Oh, really?
It does like 2. Like it does it to where it would nick Randy and give him like...
Well,
it'd give him a bad safety score. I'm like, okay, so...
Self-driving, not safe
So it's
driving.
giving you a bad safety score is what's really happening. They're not showing you the safety score. But
I
as
don't see the
FSD
safety
is
score.
driving, it's just
now that
actively,
you're
you're
in
like
beta, it doesn't
92 right
matter.
now.
We removed your beta due to unsafe following that the beta caused.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah. Well,
That's ridiculous.
Hopefully it goes forward, Randy, with the good numbers, because I'm confident you can get to 98 in time for the next rollout if you continue this trend.
Next week?
2
If
weeks.
the trend continues, it will be Sunday, based on Elon saying a week from today, Friday.
Not 2 days from when we're recording this podcast, but a week and 2 days.
I'm driving every single day.
Every single time, Friday at midnight, he goes, notice some minor things.
This is
We'll roll it out
common.
by Sunday."
This is common,
This
folks.
is very common.
Calm
by the way.
down. This is common. Before you start
So-
lynching me, this is common.
My hope is that Randy gets the beta before the end of the year. That's all I'm hoping for. Christmas present.
Oh man, that'd be so cool. I'd be happy. You'll see me be the biggest Tesla stan. I will justify everything that they do.
Until the 3 crashes into a truck because
I
it
care
thought
more
it saw
about the
a squirrel.
beta than I do my stock portfolio, and that's saying something.
Wow. Yeah, that is saying something.
Wow.
My God.
That's all I want. I just want this. Before anything else, the only thing I was ever hooked on with Tesla was the technology. That was what turned me on to it, and in turn, passing that excitement forward, I got you addicted to it, Drew, or at least seeing the vehicle for what it is, and it was
Your
out
fault.
of
It's all
my
you.
pure selfish love of technology is the only reason why I ever even entertained a Tesla. And
That's why we're all here.
I want it that bad. Where I'm sitting there, it's like I will sit here, I will shut up, and I will just be a good noodle. Give me my beta.
It's so frustrating. It's so terrible. But
and seeing how your thing was performing, Mike, with the navigating so smoothly through the vehicles, just kind of stopping on the one lane each way, I want to see that.
That was the gold moment, though. Like,
that's so cool.
There's a lot of very gray water in between all those beautiful shining moments.
I bet.
So now that you've tried it out and you've tested it, I don't know how many miles you've done with it, but my question is, do you think they are being too cautious? Do you think it's ready for more cars, or do you think after trying it out now it makes sense that it's limited? And do you think you should have it?
I think okay. So yeah.
Do you deserve what you have? Mike?
Yes, but no one else. Just me.
I should have it.
It stops at 99. If you get 99, I would say the way that they're rolling it out isn't a bad way necessarily. Mm-hmm. It's freaking frustrating, as we could tell from Randy. Like, I'm driving like a grandma, and I'm still not getting a good score. It's tough to say because seeing how it behaves sometimes, like, even me who is now paying attention 24/7, I can see what happens. But other times, like, I think about people who will abuse it, and then it'll just get bad press, and then Tesla's gonna have to do something else about it. So it's more of, I guess, here's my PSA to everyone listening who may get the beta: don't screw up the opportunity for yourself and others, because this is a very special moment, even with what's going on with what we discussed, I think, last week with the NHTSA leadership changing, and it could possibly be damaging Tesla and their full self-driving rollout. But prove them wrong is what I'm saying. Prove them wrong. Be a good driver. Try to train this, because we're on the tip of the spear at this point in terms of autonomous driving. You don't have to be a bachelor's engineer in computer science to drive a system in Arizona that only goes on a certain grid. I'm talking about Waymo right now.
50 square miles. And it doesn't take left turns. Did you hear that?
Yeah, so, yeah.
It doesn't.
The beta also has trouble with left turns, but at least it tries.
It does try. The Waymo will just do 3 rights.
Yeah.
No way.
I should have recorded, because mine had to do 3 rights, but then it had to do
really?
a left. And it did the left fine after doing.
So it went straight?
It missed. So it
3 rights and a left.
You mean it made a U-turn? Not
yes.
straight. It turned around.
It also does U-turns. Not too bad, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
I do U-turns horribly. So
I also I texted this to Drew last night because we were getting the groceries. It did the auto park beta to where it doesn't need another vehicle. And Randy, I think you'll appreciate this a lot.
Oh, thank God.
The dirty Tesla's was way better than yours. He went into a parking lot and it parked between just lines, no cars, and it was like flawless. Yours was like over the line a bit.
Yeah. I'm sending pictures now, but maybe, Nick, if you want to put them up in the podcast
Louise was
later,
not
you can.
impressed.
She was not impressed.
I showed it to her. She was like, "Look, hon, it parked itself." She's like,
You should have seen what it was doing.
well.
I should have taken a video. It was in the worst position possible for the parking, and even when it got itself in the right position, it was still struggling. There's a huge column right next to it too, so it was trying to figure out how do I get close to this column without hurting myself.
Yeah.
To go back to the original question, the way it's being rolled out, I think, is acceptable. If you really want to accelerate autonomous driving, I think it's acceptable. Could it be safer?
So you'd say yes, you deserve it.
Yes, I deserve it. Why would I say
nobody
no?
else?
I'm very humble of the position that I'm in right now.
I too am extraordinarily humble.
I just want you guys to know I am really humble. No one's more humble than me, okay, folks?
Hey, listen. I can't do the Trump
I am
voice.
the most humble. Hey, listen, people love me. I'm so humble.
People tell me all the time.
People tell me all the time how
Sucker
humble
is
I am.
humble. Yeah.
Do you think Randy deserves it?
No, not at all.
What a loaded question, Drew.
Wow.
It is
That's
a very
mean.
low.
I deserve it. Hell
Randy's-
yeah, I deserve it.
Randy's had his vehicle longer than me, and I got the beta quicker.
No one talks about it. Oh, God.
Although Mike did pay more for FSD, I think.
Yeah, I did. Anyways, long story short,
Pay to win. EA.
it's in the game. Where's
It's in the beta.
Where's this conversation?
It's in the beta.
Someone make that. Put it on Twitter.
It's
We'll
in
retweet
the
it.
beta.
So you basically you're in favor of a strict process to allow the
I'm in
beta.
favor of the most strict process ever, even to the point where I wouldn't be able to experience it. I'm happy that I get to experience it. And I think if it's rolling out the way it is, if it's going maybe slower per each percentage, so like maybe 98% takes a little bit longer, then 97 for the rollouts take even more longer. That sounds fine to me, because you have to show that you're paying attention. And if you're putting that like in
I'm sorry, were you
Randy's,
saying something, Mike? I wasn't paying attention.
I was honestly, I was about to say, if you're in Randy's position where you're tooth and nail clawing at just the access for the beta, you gain an appreciation for having the software, and with that appreciation, you don't want to lose it, and so you've earned it, and you've learned to be maybe a little bit more lenient and patient with the system while also being attentive. And I think that's a great way of rolling it out, is making people almost torture people into finally getting it. I hate to say it, but it's a very...
Like Calaterna. We should torture people.
I did not say those words in that specific order. But long story short, now I'm canceled.
I know it sounds bad.
But no.
I get what you're saying, though.
Yeah. I think when you experience it, very tropish. When you experience it, you learn to realize this is pretty cool. We should be really careful with this. And I hope that it makes a difference after I've used it for however long. I don't know how many hours I've used it. I should have documented that. But I will start documenting certain situations like I've sent to you guys. Like the cool things I see or the weird things I see. Maybe I'll post that on Twitter of just like
I was going to say.
weird situations. Or we could put on the EV Twitter as well. Just updates from at least someone on the podcast. How's it going? What has it seen this week? And has it tried killing me 5 times today? Or only 4?
Oh, my goodness.
Try killing me 5 times. That's a good metric. How many near-death experiences did you have?
How many times does it try to kill you?
I would count interventions, though. I think that's a good metric.
Yeah, 3 or 4 for... I have to. It's going to crash into something, or it's in a very dangerous situation, and then 2 to 3 for this is inconvenient. I'm going to override this.
Do you find it more stressful to drive with the beta?
I found it more stressful to drive with the safety rating beta.
That makes sense.
Honestly,
This is going to impact my insurance.
literally,
premium.
there's a little bit more comfort in realizing the system is doing this, and I've got an excuse for it misbehaving. But you still have to, of course, abide by the rules of the road and safety of yourself and other drivers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who cares about that?
If I had a Cybertruck, maybe I'd be a little bit less. But just in terms of, maybe I should be safe with this.
I'm very curious. Hearing your guys' different experiences with the safety score is fascinating, and I really, really want to see what mine will be, because I will absolutely let Tesla monitor my driving habits for a lower insurance rate. If I can get it, I'll do it.
If California
No
rolls out
question.
to that.
Yeah, it should get it next, right? Texas has it. So
Maybe.
I don't know why it wouldn't come to California, but
Because I think
someone quoted $50 a month, and I was like, I'm in. I'm never going over the speed
Yeah, I want
limit.
proof because I've driven well and I don't have $50 a month. Except I also
That was
in
in
the Bay.
Texas. Yeah, so the Bay doesn't help, but
Yeah, location also varies based off of risk.
also, well, Tesla says on the new, at least how they're doing it with Texas, they're not accounting for, age or gender or location. I believe. I think they're just going all in on the safety score thing.
ASL.
That's very progressive of them to do so. It'd be interesting to see how that plays out long term, if that is
Yeah.
the case.
If it results in lower rates, I'm for it. I don't care if I have to drive weird. I'll drive weird.
If anything, my fear is that it's just a promo thing that will change eventually, because otherwise, on the insurance side, you're not really making money on that point, and I'm curious to see how that business model will play out, because if it's all Tesla doing Tesla stuff, and we only have one bottom line, and then we'll offset that from vehicle and cells and using our superchargers and solar panels and blah 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 blah, then maybe that'd be cool. But traditionally, insurances, they up those costs based off of the risk factors of your location, and Tesla being in that situation where it's like, well, this is not our only flow of income here. It'd be cool to see. It'd be cool to see how that plays out long term. We won't know, so I think we need to see at least a year's worth of this fully implemented, and not in a beta testing style. Like, let's.
I was gonna say we have, Randy. It's been a year.
I don't want to talk about that. No, I'm talking about a real, this is bottom line.
The rollout.
I think I wouldn't be surprised if labeling something as a beta is not fully released. I wonder if there's some on a business end, or maybe even a tax end. I don't know, but on a business end, is there some deferring of liability because you don't stand behind it, thus it's a beta, as opposed to, no, this is our version 1.0 and you put your name on it? Because right now they can still teeter-totter. It's like, oh, it's still a beta. So I wonder in that same sense if this insurance and this safety score and everything else that's playing in these things that they're calling beta, does that benefit them on a business end to help, if anything, mitigate risk? I don't know how their financials work like that. Bottom line is, here's what Tesla the company, here's what Tesla the stock is performing, and we have all these little things that all funnel in, and boom, here's our dollar. Well, then it seems pretty clear cut about how they would, for example, offer insurance, offer financing if they were to ever break away from B of A, offer. I mean, they offer financing through solar panels. So,
Yep.
it's a cool business. It's a cool business strategy because they're big enough to afford to do something like that. They can take that type of risk. What, they're on track to be like $2 trillion now or something? My God.
Yeah, they're at an all-time high at the time of recording this.
Oh my God.
Simultaneously, a recall was just announced, which is kind of funny.
It didn't affect my VIN, thankfully.
Oh, it didn't.
I checked.
Good. I was curious to ask if you had tried the live streaming from the Sentry Cam yet.
I don't have it.
You don't have the update?
No.
Okay. Would that feature interest you at all in getting premium connectivity, Randy?
Ooh, currently no, because my car's home and I'm here,
Oh, true. Yeah.
and I'm in a garage, so
Not that useful then.
it's not that you. However, I'm definitely going to try it for a month. I'm going to subscribe for at least 1 month.
Oh,
and
okay. Cool.
I want to try it out. I am curious about it.
I think that's so cool. I thought for the longest time, no, it would use too much data, and now they're just like, yeah. Go ahead.
Or
It makes sense to put it in the premium connectivity.
The 5G helps everything.
5G.
Tesla now has 5G. Yeah, granted, it's not a very high quality signal, but I think that's intentional.
Yeah, I'll try it because I want to see how it works for the times I choose to take long road trips, and my car's going to be more exposed. But for my day to day, it's no. I have better visibility on my vehicle than using Sentry mode of any kind. So
I'd probably subscribe to it every time we subscribe to FSD. Just like on
Yeah.
a trip, if you're going to be away from the car in a parking lot that's busy from time to time, just being able to check on it.
Going to a city of any kind, I always get. I know where it's going to be viable for me because I know when I start to get anxiety when I'm going somewhere new, and I'm like, oh man, I do not want. I'll just sit in my car and wait till it's done charging. I just don't trust it. You know, I go to some weird spots sometimes to charge up when I'm traveling, and I just get nervous. I get really anxious about leaving the car alone, especially because it stands out so much now. Even amongst all the, if somebody's gonna walk around and want to screw with some Teslas, they're gonna, ooh, what's this green looking? Like I get too nervous about it. So having those scenarios covered with Sentry would, or just premium connectivity would make me give the peace of mind to be like, yeah, cool, because thumb drive's installed. So if anything happens, I can document it, I can record it, and I can maybe even be preventative about yelling at somebody in lifetime. Hey.
Yeah. It changes your voice, I heard. Yeah.
Well, I was thinking more of like Spider-Man Homecoming, where he's talking with Daniel Glover. He's like,
"Oh,
where are the weapons?" or something like that. I can't do it.
I remember that. We'll have to review it.
Huh.
Soon.
Interesting. Reviewing movies. Never heard of that.
Were you guys surprised that the Hertz order shot the stock up like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little bit.
Nick, have you bought in Tesla stock?
Me? No.
No. Is it just too overrated?
So, if you would have, instead of reserving a Cybertruck how many Cybertrucks did you reserve?
I'm going to have to end this call here before you finish that sentence, Drew, because that's a depressing figure that I do not, I repeat, do not want to think about.
Oh, wow, I'm looking at it right now.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
November 20th?
Stock in November was around, was it $200?
$70.
Oh, it was not $70, was it? Oh, it was after the
adjusted
split.
For the split.
It was after the split.
It is 70 compared to now.
Ooh.
More than 10x.
Please stop talking, Drew.
And you did like what? 3 of each? No, so 6.
Oh
$600.
I'm more worried about the Hertz deal. I'm glad the stock is going up, obviously. That's cool. But like, I'm concerned that other rental car companies are going to see what kind of press and attention this gives them. And now everybody's going to want to do the same thing. Like, all these different rental companies. We're buying 200,000. Oh, we're going to buy 300.
The amount of ads I've gotten
you know
of Hertz. I haven't seen any Hertz ads in like years. And then all of a sudden it's now just like, Hertz, we have Model 3s now.
I'll be honest with you, I had never heard of them.
Really?
Before this.
What? Really?
Never once had I ever heard of...
Hertz, doesn't it?
My dad made that joke once, but I didn't know they were a rental car service. I
Oh,
never
my
rented
goodness.
a car.
Why'd you say that slowly, Dad?
Oh God, his age is catching up to him.
I was just like, who is this? Tom Brady?
What?
Like, buying a bunch of Teslas? What? Why do I care? And then the stock shot up, and I was like, I thought we knew that demand was through the roof. I guess people wanted some more confirmation for some reason, but I'm concerned that before you know it, the only people who can buy Teslas are going to be rental car companies just buying as many as possible.
Robotaxi becomes real.
Yeah.
No, I don't. Like, there's an enterprise division, and then there's the consumer division of vehicles. Ford, is most known for this, based even off of their own smaller truck fleet that they have that's meant to be for enterprise and commercial usage, and stuff like that's kind of accounted for. This thing with Hertz is just validation more than anything. It's just that now they have a very healthy streamline of revenue coming from another company that's, established from. I'm surprised you never heard of Hertz. My God, it's crazy to me. But like, if enterprise,
You see where I live?
I have, but I know you're familiar that there's a world outside of Northern California.
Yes.
So, with that being said, I just think that to get the backing of such a big order from a company that says that I endorse these EVs, it's a level of validation that we're getting for the first time in lifetime because the Semi isn't ready yet. I suspect the Semi will get the same type of coverage, maybe not in the same spotlight, but when the Semi's out for everyone else to use, we're going to see them just as popularized because its purpose is for commercial and enterprise usage. But we don't have that right now. But what we do have is Model 3s. So let's do that.
Yep.
The cheapest one that they can get.
It's crazy that a rental car company can raise like $300 billion to the market cap. That's insanity.
Nick, it's not too late to get in and buy some stock. It's never too late. I promise.
This is true. It's never too late.
I promise.
Never too late.
It just costs a pretty penny now.
People ask me all the time. They're like, I want to wait until it gets lower. I should don't ever time the market. That's a losing game. The house always wins when you try to time. But my thing besides timing, it wasn't that I timed the market. I was consistently buying into Tesla. But my only advice that I tell people and why I back it is not because of the next 12 to 24 months or when Cybertruck launches. I've always expected it to get to this point 10 years from now. The fact that it's caught up now, it just means it's going to be volatile, but I still think it's well within its value of what the stock is actually worth and not what it's worth today. This is so inflated because they're projecting what it's going to be worth once it's stabilized. Once we do have the Cybertrucks in full force, Texas is online, Model Ys are shipping out, Roadsters, Semis, and even new things that we haven't even heard about yet because they haven't even been announced. Once all that is solidified, it's just another Microsoft, Apple, Google, Amazon. Everything else that's $1 trillion company is not going anywhere. Tesla's not going anywhere. And for those reasons, I say it's a safe stock. And so, Nick, get in on it.
All right. I
Should
will
they
take that
split
under
it
advisement.
again?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't dilute the stock by splitting. Splitting
I just
is
remember the last time they announced a split, it made the stock go way up for no
it
reason.
just people don't
People are
understand.
like, okay.
You own one share. The only difference between owning one share and a fractional share is voting rights. That's it. You get voting. It doesn't matter. It's not paying a dividend, so it doesn't matter. But if you put $10 in,
I just notice how it impacts the price.
people because it's kind of clickbaity. It's kind of you're rewording something that has the same meaning. It doesn't dilute the stock, so the value of it is still the same, which is why for us it looks like it was $70 back in 2019 of November. But you know, I didn't pay $70. I paid like $200 a share.
Right.
I remember. So
Then it doubled up. Yeah.
yeah. So
It doesn't matter, but it impacts the market cap for no reason, which always is just funny to me. But
it gives more people an opportunity to you know, I have a voting right type of a thing. It honestly, because it's not paying a dividend, it doesn't really mean anything.
not really.
When it starts paying a dividend, that's when the stock will rightfully go up. It's going to become even more expensive.
I don't see that happening for a long time, to be honest.
Not until I see Amazon or Google doing it.
Right. Yeah, they don't need to. There's not really an advantage to providing one for them.
Right.
Obviously, for shareholders, there's lots of advantages, but they're fine. They're going to be just fine. I wouldn't be shocked if they did another capital raise. Might not be a bad idea at this point when it does crazy rises like this for no reason. Tesla will be like, let's buy some more land or some new factory location or something. I don't know.
Tulsa.
But yeah, here we come, Oklahoma. We need somewhere to build the not Model 2.
Giga Miami.
If I hear one more person say, guys, it's not going to be called Model 2, I will virtually slap them in the face.
Virtually, obviously.
Oh my god. Get over it.
Yeah. calling it 25K model Tesla is a mouthful.
That's not going to age well either.
I mean, nothing's gonna age well. So
don't call it the 25K.
Just call it what it is relevantly, and then you can laugh at yourself later and be like, "Yeah,
The 2-door sedan.
we don't even know if it's
I don't think
2-door."
it'll be 2-door. I'm pretty confident it'll be.
Well, I just
That's why I'm
contradicted
saying
myself. It wouldn't be a sedan if it's 2-door. It's be a coupe.
I'm gonna call it Model 2 until they give me a real name. But don't tell me not to call it something without a actual solution.
Don't call it that, Drew.
Don't call it that. What do I call it?
I don't care.
The battery day one. No, that takes longer. More
The
syllables.
vehicle
Waste
with the
time.
blanket on it digitally. That one.
With the thing. Do it with the
I'm pretty
thing.
sure that blanket image is just on a 3.
Probably.
But someone had to design that. Anyway, closing thoughts, gents?
Nick should have bought Tesla stock a long time ago so he could buy the Cybertruck as soon as it comes out. Unfortunately, he didn't, so he's going to have to do that now. Thank you for the investment advice. I'm going to sue you guys if it doesn't work out. Thanks. Bye.
So I'm hearing Nick say he's worried about the Cybertruck.
Oh, I thought we were going to make it.
Nope.
You ruined it, Randy. You ruined it.
I'm we'll probably talk about it next week, but I'm not worried about the Aptera. So,
Hey!
yeah.
Hopefully.
Boom.
No reason to be worried.
You can get our thoughts on that
Ideally.
next week.
All right, sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Have a great week. See you at 2 trillion.